Hail and welcome, full pink moon of 2020. We welcome you, Grandmother Moon, to our altars on this sacred night of your fullness. And we draw you down through the crowns of our heads, all the way down through our bodies, down into the earth. We draw you down into our hearts, into our bellies. We draw you down for creating magic on this sacred night. Thank you, Grandmother Moon. Thank you. We ask for your blessings. Hail and welcome, Grandmother Moon.
Good evening. Laima here with you to help you manifest a full moon ritual. I hope you have an altar set up. As you can see, I've got mine all ready to go, and I asked you to get some pink quartz and pink and white flowers, pink or white candles. And I have my little fun bunny ballerina statue for Yoster as the centerpiece. And I have two goddesses. We're going to be working with the goddess Ma'at and the goddess Yoster. So, first of all, let's light our candles. So, it's such a sacred time of year. This is the full moon that calls forth Easter. And it's a sacred time, as you know, in many traditions, not just the Christian tradition, but certainly in the pagan tradition. It's a festival of spring, and so is Passover, so is Easter Sunday. It's really all about spring and renewal and rebirth. So on the new moon, we did our releasing ritual, and then we've built up into this full moon, and now we're ready to be more in bloom and come into our resurrection, so to speak. We have been experiencing a deep, dark dive into the depths, and there's a lot of fear been floating around and grief, and I hope that you all have settled a bit in that. And if not, well, hopefully this ritual will help you. And we're going to work with that, okay? So we're going to work with the goddess Ma'at first. She's the ancient Egyptian goddess of truth and justice, and I will read a little tiny bit about her to you. I am the law of truth, the path of integrity, preserver of the code, and in my heart justice lives. I weigh all deeds against my feather of truth. I weigh all deeds, and should they prove the heavier, then I give the lessons. I create the opportunities. I open the pathways. I graciously bestow that which needs to be learned to right all wrongs. Ma'at was an ancient Egyptian goddess of law, order, truth, and justice. With her feather of truth, she weighed the souls of all came to her subterranean hall of judgment. She would place her plume on the scales opposite the heart of the deceased. If the scales balanced, the deceased could feast with deities and spirits of the dead. If the heart was heavy, the deceased was turned over to the underworld goddess, and she was devoured. So, Ma'at has come with her feather of truth to assist you in bringing justice to your life. Are you in a situation that seems unfair, unjust, unreasonable? Yes, I would say we are. Have you used integrity yet another or others have not? And now are you wounded and seek justice? Have you not been honest with your words, your deeds, your actions? Are you being unjust to others, to yourself? Perhaps your standards are so rigid that you find them impossible to meet and continue to rebel? Do you have an inner judge who condemns you for any infractions of her rules? Now is the time to look at your life and invite justice. Now is the time to repay all debts, to strike a fair and reasonable balance in all your dealings. Ma'at says the way to wholeness for you lies in accepting the loving nature of justice, which seeks to right all wrongs by administering the lessons needed. Okay, so we are going to call in, well, I want to call in the directions first, and then we're going to call in the goddesses. So, we welcome our ancestors. We welcome all of our guardians. We welcome our teachers, both living and in the beyond. We welcome you to be with us in this ritual tonight on this full pink moon. We call in the 4 directions. We call in the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water, east, south, west, and north, above and below. We call you in. Hail and welcome. Our circle is cast. We are now between the worlds. What happens between the worlds stays between the worlds. Magic is alive and goddess is afoot. Okay, so we're going to work with Ma'at first. I already told you about her, and I want you to take your piece of rose quartz. Now I have a few here. I have this ball and I have a couple of large stones, but whatever feels right. I want you to pick a chunk of that quartz, and I want you to hold it in your hand and in your hands, and I want you to put all of the feelings of injustice and wrongdoings and even the grief and rage and the sorrow, whatever you need to let go of, put it into this pink rose quartz. And let the heaviness come out of your heart through your hands into this stone. And then when you feel that, and you can feel the heaviness of it, I want you to take your feather, and I'm going to use this feather for a second, but I want you to feel the difference. If this was your heart, and this is Ma'at's scales, feel the difference in the weight. Hold the feather in the palm of your hand and the stone that represents your heart, and see if you can feel the difference, the heaviness in our hearts right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to cleanse this so that your heart can be as light as a feather. So take your feather, and actually I'm going to take Ma'at's feather, her plume, her ostrich plume. Take your feather and just blow your feather, wipe your feather over that stone, and see all of that grief and sadness and rage and uncertainty and fear, whatever you put in there. Brush it off and see it floating away. Okay, now take the stone, put it in your hand, and put your feather in your other hand, and see if you can feel a difference. See if you can feel that your heart is lighter and is balanced with Ma'at's feather of truth and justice. And feel in your heart that truth and justice will and is prevailing. That Ma'at can bring law and truth and order and justice to our lives. I know that a lot of us have been feeling pretty helpless, but we're not. We need to practice magic right now. And Ma'at is the goddess that will bring truth and justice to this whole situation and the crazy system that is being perpetuated by some pretty bad people on this planet. So don't take it personally. Be light as Ma'at's feather, and let your heart be light as Ma'at's feather. Okay? I hope that you felt a little bit lighter. I'm doing this quickly because we don't have a whole lot of time. But then work with your feather all week. Let yourself, let yourself be free and light. Light. I picked Ma'at to work with specifically because it's the Libra full moon, and Libra is the scales, which is justice. And we all need our hearts to be lighter at this time. And that's what we need to heal ourselves and to heal the planet, is to feel that flame, that heart flame, coming up and burning bright and light, letting ourselves fill up with illumination and joy. Woohoo! Okay, so that was Ma'at. And then I want to work with Yastur. Now Yastur, she is the Germanic goddess of Easter. And since Easter's coming right up, we have to work with Yastur, right? And she will bring us the growth and energy that we need in the movement towards becoming and expanding, enhancing the impulse deep within all beings to develop, evolve, press onward, to fulfill all that is possible. She's a Germanic goddess of fertility, agriculture, and spring. Yastur, or Easter, was celebrated with the ritual lighting of dawn fires as a protection for the crops. She symbolizes springtime, new growth, and rebirth. Once, when the goddess was late in coming, a little girl found a bird close to death from the cold, and she turned to Yastur for help. A rainbow bridge appeared, and Yastur came. Clothed in her red robe of warm, vibrant sunlight, which melted the snows, spring arrived, and because the little bird was wounded beyond repair, Yastur changed it into a snow hare, who then brought rainbow eggs. As a sign of spring, Yastur instructed the little girl to watch for the snow hare to come in the woods. Yastur comes into your life with her springtime message of personal growth. It is time to open to things in your life that facilitate growth, development, evolution. Is there a class or a workshop you've been wondering if you should take? Do it now. Is there something new you want to include in your life? Let it in now. Have you just gone through a period of stagnation and lethargy where nothing seemed to be happening? Let it go. We've certainly all been through that. Now is the time of growth. Yastur says that wholeness is nurtured when you embrace experiences, risks, and occasions that cause you to stretch. The stretching permits your growth. Well, I think that we've all been stretched in many directions that we couldn't have even imagined. last year at this time. So, Yoster is also the part of us that is ever blooming and new and youthful. So, we want to remember that. This is a time where we are witnessing a lot of death and there is a lot of grief. But we're in the season of renewal and rebirth and resurrection. Usually, death precedes resurrection. So we've been through the ringer, we've been through the death throes, and we can resurrect out of this by working in ourselves and in our ritual altars and in our prayers to the goddess, and ask for that which will heal and nurture us and sustain us, and trust in the goddess. She's the only one, as far as I'm concerned, that's going to heal the earth. This year the earth will be renewed with the goddess's blessing and help, the Earth Mother. So, if you want to see, this is my little Yoster bunny, ballerina bunny, and bring the camera around here, and I want to show you her cute little bunny butt. She's a little bunny fairy angel of Yoster. I like her because she's so whimsical. And so now's the time to deepen and, well, actually, don't deepen. Throw off the shackles that bind you and be whimsical and playful and call in the Fae. The Fae are always ready to help play. So we need to have that playful spirit. Even if we're shut in, we can do it. Make something beautiful, dance around in beautiful garments. I put my priestess garbs on just to celebrate the renewal that we have coming now. So there's one more thing I wanted to do with you. I asked you to bring preferably a pink stole, and the stole is the priestess's very important garment, and it blesses and protects her heart. So if you have a scarf, I want you to take it, and I want you to bring it up to your forehead, and you're going to bless it. Blessing it with your mind, blessing it with your breath, and then blessing it with your heart. And seeing that this beautiful stole of protection will hold your heart steady in this time of upheaval and change. And we'll never be the same. We aren't going back to the normal. We're going forward to something different, whatever that's going to look like. So if you have a pink scarf or stole, I suggest that you do this and wear it around your heart to protect your heart now. And also work with your rose quartz, and now you can blow into your rose quartz the healing that you wish to receive. So think about that for a moment and hold it in your hands. Feel your heart energy moving into it. Bless it with your mind, your breath, and your heart. And then blow into it any wishes of healing that you would like to see happen for yourself and for the planet, for your friends and loved ones, for your animals, for your gardens, for all the people everywhere on earth. Blow all that healing heart energy into your rose quartz. Thank you. Thank you, goddesses, for being here. Thank you for the circle. Thank you, ancient ones, for joining us. And thank you to the full pink moon. Blessings. Goddess is alive and magic is afoot. 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 Goddess is alive.